Hi and welcome to yet another Facemaker video tutorial. I am Nuno and today we'll be creating a watch face for the latest Garmin watch, the Fenix 8. This is the 51mm version and you can choose from 3 different looks. How great is that? And we also have the 47mm version and the 43mm, okay? But we'll be creating for the 51mm version, this one here. And I thought about what to create that could be achievable by new users and also by experienced users. And well, I searched the internet and I came up with this watch face here. So this is the old Honor GS Pro, and this is a stock watch face that I found. And well, I think while a very simple watch face, it will allow me to show you some techniques that many users don't know about in Facemaker. So I found it to be the perfect watch face to create this time, okay? So what I did is I copied this image and I cut the watch part and extracted the watch face image only. So we will be importing this image onto Facemaker and using it as a reference to create our watch face, okay? So let's do it. As usual, I had a background container here, and then I had an image widget. So this is a static image. It doesn't do anything. It just displays an image of your choice. So the way to import this image here, we have several methods. We can use the copy-paste method. So here on GIMP, I will Control-C, and then here on this image preview field, I press Control-V, and there we go. We have the image imported, just like that. We can also use the drag and drop technique. So here I have the image, the reference image saved on my hard drive, and I will simply drag and drop it here, just like that. And immediately we have the image imported, okay? So I think this will do it and we can continue. And by the way, you should always name your layers. This way, when you have 50 layers, you will be able to know which one is the layer that you want, okay? So you can also distinguish between the widgets by overing the layer here. So you can see that now this one is shining right there, okay? It has a glow, a blue glow all around. And this is also a way that you can use to know which widget is the one you want. So yeah, okay. So usually I think about how to build a watch face, and you know, planning is important when you start your watches. So here I can see that we need a black background. So this will be the backdrop of your watch face, and this is a simple black color. So let's do that. I'm gonna put this widget here, the image widget, on the top left corner right there, and then press generate. And now we have this orange looking square that we can first define the color, and I think I have a black, and indeed I have, so this one here, and now I'll set it to the same size as the screen. There we go. And now we have the background image, the black background image. So I'm going to rename it. And this is done. We can now proceed. Next, I'm going to hide this black image we created, and I'll think about the next step. So I can see here that we have some sort of a shape of a structure here that will harbor the weather and the temperatures. And I think I should tackle it next. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, the best tool to do it would be the draw vector tool. And there we go. Now you see here on the right we have the toolbar for the vector tool draw. And now I will zoom in and enable the guidelines by pressing Ctrl G. There we go. This way we know that the center of the watch face is right here. Now let's start drawing. Now the vector tool works by placing control points. So one here, and now I will press the Alt key. So we have a preview of the line, and I'll put the next control point right here, and then I will press Control Alt to keep the 45 degrees increments. And this way we know we have a straight line. So I'll go past this middle guideline here, right there, and then to the bottom. And finally, we'll connect these two. So click, drag and drop there. And now we can simply make this line go outside the canvas, just like that, okay? And now we can fill it and save. And now we have a basic half shape of this reference shape we have here. So we need to mirror it onto the other side. And since this is a full-sized image, so as you can see here, it's the same size as the screen, we can simply come in here and apply a mirror modifier. There we go. The mirror modifier works by copying whatever is on the left or on the top quadrant onto the opposite quadrant. Okay, so here we have this shape on the left side. If we press horizontal, there we go. We made a copy of this side onto the other side. And this is why when I created the shape, I went past the middle guideline here, okay? So this is done, we can apply, and here, just for good measure, because you'll notice that this is not perfectly round, I will do a two-sphere, and there we go. Now we can also crop the content to make it as small as possible, and this shape is done. Now I want to apply a gradient here that you see here, these colors. So for this we can apply a gradient effect. There we go. And now I am going to pick those colors. So this one will be the bottom color, and the top color was selected from here. And there we go. Now this should look, well, it's not perfect, but I think it should work. I think it should be a little bit darker here. So let's do it like this. Add a new control point, and then we can drag it like this and check. And by the way, I can check it because right now the layer is hidden. But now we can. Right there, okay? So yes, I think this will work. So this is perfect. We can now proceed. Now, here on the reference image, we also have this inset, you see here, with this pattern, this checkered pattern. Now we need to replicate it, and the best way to do it will be to add an image, use the vector draw, and just start drawing this shape. So here, here, and here, and here. Now we go all the way down here, like that, and then back to the rim of the watch face. And there we go. Now we can fill it and save. Okay, we have this simple color and we can see how it looks. And I can immediately see that this is not perfect. I think this is thicker here than here. So let's edit the vector and push this just a little bit downwards, and this one too. And there we go. Now we can save, and yes, I think this will work. So let's apply a mirror modifier like before, horizontal, and done. And now I will crop the content. There we go. Now, as you can see here on the reference, this has some sort of a checkered pattern. And this is not easy to create, but we have several effects we can use here to replicate this. Let me show you. So let's bring this back. And for now, we have this shape, and I will first clone it. So now we have two of them, okay? This one behind, I will add a fill color effect. There we go. And make it black. You can see it because we have this cloned image on the top. So let's hide it. And there we go. Now it's black. This one here, we need another effect. And this will be the pattern. There we go. Now, this is the stripes pattern. I'm going to make the scale much smaller. And I am going to select the checkered or checkerboard. There we go. And now we need that gray color that we have on the reference. Let me see here. And we zoom in. Okay. And instead of white, I will use this color here. So a little bit on the yellow. So push it to the left to remove any saturation, okay? So, okay, this is done. We can bring it back. And now this is nothing like the reference. And this is because it's using the all the extent of the image. So let me show you here. You can see that the image comes all the way up to here, up to the limit of the image. But we need to account for the opacity of the image, okay? So we need it to be transparent where it should be. So right now I'm going to show it and press this button here, mask, and there we go. Now it's transparent where it should, and the pattern is only applied to the opaque part of the image. And this is almost done. Now all we need to do is join these two right here. So click this button, merge down, and then select add. And there we go. We have a single image. Now here on the reference image, you can see that we have some sort of shadow going on here. So let's do it. So here, I'm going to apply a inner shadow. There we go. And I know that this has to come from above. So I'm going to increase this coordinate here, the Y coordinate. And let's go with a 4, perhaps. And perhaps decrease the blur. And yes, I think this will do. Well, okay, I think this will work. Perhaps we can also add a brightness effect and just tone this down a little bit, make it darker. Yeah, something like that should work. Okay, let me take a look at the reference, and now the image I have just created. Well, this might be too dark, so let's go with 10. Yes, it's not exactly the same, but it will do, I think. So let's proceed. Okay, this is done, and you can see here on the reference that this is darker on this side, and we need to account for that. So it's coming here. It should be this one. Yes, it's this one. Yeah. Okay, this is the background structure. This one here. I'm going to clone it. So clone widget and put it on the top. And you will notice when you come here that we still have the vector image. And if we press edit vector, we have that semi shape, that half shape we created earlier. So I'm going to just save it and remove this effect, this gradient, and there we go. Now I'm gonna enable the guidelines, and you can see that this is going beyond the middle guideline. So we need to crop this shape up to here. Okay, so let's do that. Let's select the crop effect. There we go. And now we click select. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Now I'm going to delete this effect, and first I am going to crop to content. There we go. That way we only have the useful part of the image. And now we can apply the crop and press select. And somehow it went to the top. Okay, this is not going too well, I think. Oh yes, I see what happened. I'm sorry. I applied the last effect, and by that time the widget had 454 pixels of width and height. And then it no longer had when I cropped it. And then I applied the old effect, which was expecting the image to have 454 pixels of width. So now we have to repeat this. So here I clone it, I put the image above like before, remove this effect, and sorry about this, but yeah, edit vector and save. There we go. And now we can first crop to content. There we go. And then apply the crop. And remember not to press the last crop, because this will have the same settings as when the image was full screen, okay? And now it's cropped. So here I'll add the crop effect, a new crop effect. There we go, and press select, and there we go. Okay, now I'm gonna crop it all the way to the half of the image, or half of the screen, like this, and press submit. And now you can see that it's using only, it's perfectly cropped the half of the image. And now I will apply it, crop to canvas, and there we go, the same size as the screen. And then I will apply a flip horizontal. And now it's on the other side, as you can see. And here, now we need a fill color. So fill color and make it black. And we're almost there. Now the final effect is the opacity. So, and there we go. Now we can show all the other images and hide the reference. And you can see that now this is darker, just like the reference image. I might go a little bit darker. And yes, I believe this will work. So let me just take a look. And yes, this is good enough. Perhaps just a tad darker by increasing the opacity. There we go. And this is done. Okay, now we can proceed. So now here on the reference image, we have this sort of a star field you can see here, okay? And I want to create it using only Facemaker. And how do we do that? So I'm gonna have an image, put it on the top left, right there, and press generate. And it doesn't matter which color you select. So, sorry, 4x4, there we go. And now I'm going to apply an effect called starfield. And let me just hide the reference image. This is what we have here, okay? This is a star field that you can edit. Increase the size or the variance of the size of the stars, and you can change the color and the amount. So let's say we want a very dense star field. So let's go with 5,000. There we go. Now, the variance is not a lot. So you'll notice here that this will make some big and some small. I want this to be pretty low, something like this. And we'll make it, I don't know, 500, or let's go with 1,000. There we go. Now we need to address the color, because here on the reference image, we only have white and bluish stars, as you can see here. So they're all blue stars, and I am going to try to replicate this. So let's try and pick some of these colors right there, and this one will be whitish, and here we'll go back to blue. Okay, so hide this, bring back the star field, and there we go. We might, perhaps I should go with more blue stars. So let me just try something here. And yes, I think I prefer this result. And you can change the seeding of the stars. So every time you change this setting here, Facemaker will recalculate the placement. So do it until you have something that is good enough, something like that. You can also just change the star amount until you have something satisfactory. Okay, so I think this should work, so I am going to apply it. There we go. Now you may not notice, but this is transparent. Only the stars are opaque. So as you can see here, okay. Now we need to make it so that this is transparent on the bottom. You'll notice that we have some sort of blackness down here, and we can achieve this in many ways. So we could do, for example, we could create an image, put it on the left, and press generate. Make it whatever color, doesn't matter, and let's make it the same size as the screen, so the same width, I mean. There we go. And if we push it downwards, let me just see here. Oh, and hide this one here too. So let's bring back the reference image. So I believe that from here, okay, so let's make it half or even more. So let's go all the way to 300. Okay, and now we can, right there. Maybe too much. Let's make it smaller. And now bring it down just like that. And now let's choose a gradient. So the bottom color will be black, of course. And we should push it upwards, just like that. And this one will also be black, but transparent. And there we go. Now we have this feathering we needed here. And perhaps increase it even more. Now let's bring back all the images, and there we go. We have this fading you see there, okay? And this should be behind that structure we created. No, not this one. Well, sorry. this is not running too well, I think. Oh yeah, we still have the starfield also to put behind. And this one should be above the starfield. And there we go. Now we have this feathering. And I believe this is more or less what we have in the reference. And yes, I believe this will work. So we can even bring it upwards to make this feathering to start sooner here. So I believe this will work. This is, yeah, this is perfect. Okay, so this is done and we can now proceed. So now we have some other interesting elements. So for example, we have the moon here, and this will be an actual widget that will show the moon phase. And we also have the hours, minutes, steps, calories, heart rate, and the distance. So I think the next thing we'll do is, I don't know, perhaps the moon. Let's do it. So here we'll add a main container, a widget, and then we will add the date subcontainer, and here we have the lunar phase. There we go. So we could generate just like this, but it doesn't look real like the one in the reference. So you see here. Okay, so instead I'm going to use some images we have on the library. We have this full set of 8 images. You also have a 30 image version, but we need this one, the 8 image version. Okay, so I'm going to switch into full moon and then resize it. And by the way, you can switch between the images on an image set. So Facemaker has these 8 images. You can switch between them, or you know, change the currently visible image by pressing Shift and scrolling the mouse wheel, just like this. Okay, so that way you can preview and, you know, select the image you want. So let's zoom in. And by the way, I'm zooming in and out by pressing Control and scrolling the mouse wheel, and Facemaker will zoom wherever the cursor is. So I want to zoom in on the temperature here. I put the cursor there, and then I press Control and scroll the mouse wheel. There we go. And we can also pan the image like this by using the right mouse wheel. Click, drag, and there you go. Okay, so let's zoom out, and then we can try to match the size of the moon. Right there, then Control and just scale the moon. We're just scaling the moon. Okay, so there we go. And this should work perfectly. Right there. Yes, it's good enough. Now, this is a little more blue than our image here. So I'm going to try a couple of things. First, I will perhaps change, or rather remove saturation. So grayscale. Well, it didn't work very well. We can also add a U effect. There we go. And then zoom in. I will move it downwards, so interface, oh, it's hidden, sorry. And then I will change the U until we have something more bluish. And there we go. I think this is more, it looks better than before. So yes, this is done. And there we go. We have the moon, and I still need to tweak the location, something like this. And yes, this will work perfectly, I guess. And okay, it's more blue, and this is what we wanted, so let's proceed. Okay, next thing, we have these shooting stars here. Okay, we have several ways to do this. So we could use a vector draw and then apply a gradient that will make it look like this, you know, have this fading effect. We can also, for example, just simply add an image, and here I will draw a vector, zoom in, and just or rather not, I'll save it. For now, I instead will edit image. There we go. And now I'll make this white, and I'll make this smaller, much smaller. So something like this. Okay, we have a dot there, and perhaps we can press it even further and save. And now I will crop the content, and then I will apply a new effect, the motion blur. There we go. Now the motion blur works like this. So you want it to go in this direction. So let's choose this direction. Or rather, no, the opposite. This one here, okay? And now we can increase the length, and we can try to match. Oh well, this is not, yeah, this won't work. So I'm going to try a different approach, okay? Bear with me here. So here I will draw a vector. There we go. And then I will just simply click and click. And I'll make it 2 pixels wide. Perhaps tweak just the placement a little bit. And done. Okay, now I will crop the content, and I will apply a gradient effect. There we go. Now here, this will be white on the top and black and transparent on the bottom. And we can change now the orientation of the gradient. So something like this should work. And there we go. This is the perfect effect, I think. I think we should also lower the opacity of this white here. So let's do that. And there we go. Now we can place it there, zoom out, and just simply Control C and Control V. Create a copy, put it here, Control C, Control V, and put it here. And there we go. We have the shooting stars, and I think they look lovely. And yes, this will work. Okay, now we have some more elements. For example, we have a sort of a nebula here, or some star glow. I don't really know, perhaps a galaxy, but we'll try to recreate this. So for this, I'll add an image, and I'll press, I'll make it the same size as the canvas. So crop the canvas. You can't see anything because right now this is a transparent image. So here I will press edit image, and I will choose some blue color. So something like this. And I will increase the brush. And now I will simply do some, you know, some shapes here, some blotches of color, just like that. And it may not look like much right now, but once I apply a Gaussian blur and increase the value, you see what we have there, okay? So something like that should work wonderfully. So let me just take a look. Well, it's not really the blue color we wanted. So I'm going to apply a hue effect. Just try and make it look more like the, oh, it doesn't look that bad. Okay, I think this is more faithful to the reference image. And now I think I will also apply an opacity effect. And this will make it, you know, fainter, just like that, okay? So we have this, and now this is our version. Well, it's not perfect, but I think it does its job, I think. Yes, I will apply a little noise effect. So here, and I'll put it behind the opacity effect. And let's increase the noise. No, way too much. Okay, something like that. And you know what? I think I will apply a noise texture here too. So noise, just so we have some texture there. And I'll go with a setting of 1 and this one too. There we go. You know, this is almost invisible, but if you zoom in, you'll see what it's doing. Now it looks like some sort of metal or something, okay? So yes, I believe we're on the good path, and I think we should proceed. So now we have all the visual elements and one data type, the lunar phase here, okay? And this works. If I press preview, you can see that it's working, okay? So now let's tackle the hours and minutes. So I'm gonna hide everything and show the reference. Here I'm not really sure what this font is, but we'll try to match it the best we can. You know, it doesn't have to be exactly the same font here, okay? So if it looks more or less the same, you can go with it, okay? So let's add a time digital dial, and here I will add a hours first digit. There we go. Now we press generate, and let's try and find the perfect font for this. You know, this one is not bad. And as usual, I'm switching between the images by using Shift and the mouse wheel, okay? Okay, let's increase the size just a little bit. And this one is not bad at all. So Euro style. Let's try others. Oh, this one's even better. So Euro style, and this one is way too thick. So yeah, let's try others. Oh, okay. This one is almost exactly what we needed. And you know what? I think I'm gonna go with it. So Russell 1, okay. Well, I don't like the number 2 here. Let's try others. Okay. Oh, yes. I usually don't waste this much time looking for fonts. If something looks good, it will probably work in the end. So don't waste too much energy trying to match the font exactly. Okay, we're back to Euro style Demi, and I think I will go with this one. Okay, so this will be the font we will use, okay? Because I think the one matches. Let me see the 8. So the hours doesn't have an 8, but the hour second digit does. So let's press generate and match it with this one. Well, now I am not so sure. Let's check the Russell 1 again. Well, okay, I'll go with Russell 1. Yeah, I think it works better. Okay, so let's press generate and select the Russo 1. There we go. Now we have this and we can create the minutes. So minutes first digit and generate. Place it. And then the minutes second digit and press generate. And there we go. Now you'll notice that we have a lot of useless space all around the widget. And we can fix it by simply selecting crop the content. And there we go. Now remember, we're saving on the image size. If you do this, the images, the exported images will be smaller, okay? So here, let me match it the best we can. So there we go. And this one here. And I think they're all aligned to each other. And indeed, and they are. Okay, so this is done. And now we need to account for this, this texture you have in the background. And this is more of this, I think. So we'll try to mimic this effect here. And if you remember, we created two versions of this shape here. Then we had the black on the background and the checkered texture on top. Then we merged them, okay? And we're going to do the same thing here, or at least try. So let's first clone and create a copy of each of these, okay? So clone, 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 and clone. Now we have two of each. So let's bring this one back, and this one will add a fill color, and we'll make it black, just like this. And you can't see it because right now we have the orange one on top. So if I hide it, there we go. The black version is underneath. So let's hide the orange, or rather they were all hidden. I must not hide the ones that will be underneath. So let me just check here. Minutes, first digit cloned. Hours second digit. Oh, this one should be, yeah. Somehow I changed the order, I'm sorry. So minutes first digit and then the second one right here, okay? So yeah, let's show all these right here. And now we need to apply a black fill color to all these. So let's do that. Fill color, effects, fill color, and finally this one, fill color. Okay, now we can take care of that checkered texture. And let's bring back the other one, the copy, the cloned one. And this one will use a pattern effect. There we go. Choose the checkerboard. Make it as small as possible. And now I'm going to zoom in and just pick this sort of grayish color right there. Okay, so you can't see much right now, but if we select like before the mask effect, you can see that this is now only inside the numbers. So there we go. And this is exactly what we need to apply to the others. So this one here, let's show it and use the last pattern. This one too, last pattern, and finally this one. And there we go. It was hidden, but now we can unhide it and we have the final effect, okay? This will be sort of the effect we need, but we need to do more. So right now we need to merge all these. So add. And now you can see here what we were trying to achieve, right? So we'll do the same to the others, add. And we're merging the cloned version with this checkerboard effect with the black version underneath. So add, and finally this one, add. Okay, we're almost there. Now we need some more effects. You'll notice that here we have some sort of gradient effect there, and I want to replicate it. So let's do this, and only on the on this one and on this one. So let's try and recreate this. Here on the hour second digit, I am going to add a gradient effect. There we go. So now we need to make a white control point here, and this one will be black and transparent, and this one black and transparent. And there we go. Now you see what we're doing, right? Now we need to rotate the effect like this, and perhaps lower the opacity of this white. So right now this is almost completely transparent, as you can see here. We need to bring that checkerboard effect forward, and we do that by applying this gradient we just had it, applying it to the overlay like this. So now you see we have that sort of effect going on here, okay? And this might be too bright, so I will make it just a tad darker. There we go. Now we have this, and we should apply it here too. So effects, lost, gradient, and there we go. Now this is exactly what we needed, okay? But we're not done yet. If we compare what we have with the reference, you'll notice that this has some sort of a inner shadow. So let's do that. Here, effects, inner shadow. There we go. And now it should come from above. So let's apply some pixels here on the top, or rather the Y coordinate. Unblur it just a little bit and increase the strength. There we go. And I believe this will work perfectly. So let's apply the same effect to the others. There we go. And now this one too. And finally the second digit. And there we go. Okay, this is what we have. So we are not done yet, because here on the reference, you'll notice that this has a border. So let's do that. Let's come in here and add one final effect, the border. And this border, we will pick this color and this color on the top. So let's add it to the favorites. It won't be needed further, but I think we can save it, yeah. So this is what we have right now. We need it to be thicker. So let's increase to 3 and change to mode 2. Mode 1 is more, it's perfect for square images, and mode 2 is great for round images, this that we have here, okay? So, okay, let's apply it to all the others, last border, and we can show them all now, just so we can see the effect. So, border and last border. And now let's show the background image, and voila, we have some sort of, it's kind of similar, I think. Let me just show the reference here and just show and hide the what we have here? Well, these are a little bit more on the blue side, while ours is grayscale, but it doesn't matter. I think this will work perfectly, so we can proceed. And if we press play now, you'll see that this is working perfectly. So the time matches the one on our system here. So yes, this is working. Okay, let's proceed and start tackling these here. Okay, we need to create steps, calories, heart rate, and distance widgets. So let's do that. Here I will add a elf steps container, and then I will add an image combo and press generate. There we go. And I'm not sure this is the perfect font for this. Let me just try other fonts. Perhaps Arbitron. And yes. And I believe we matched the font perfectly. And yes, this will work. So now all we need to do is match the color. So let's go with this grayish. No, we'll go with a white color. Right there. And add it to the favorites. And there we go. Now this is done, but you can see that the distance between the numbers is bigger than the one on the reference. This is because we have a margin here. So let's remove it. There we go. And while this is closer, it's still higher than the reference. So another way to do this is to press crop to content. And there we go. And I think I will pad it with zeros and align it to the left. There we go. This is done. And now the rest of them will be very easy. So the next one is calories. So elf calories, then add an image combo and press generate, pad it with zeros and place it. The next one is heart rate. So health, heart rate, add an image combo and just press generate, pad it with zeros and done. And finally, the distance. So this is located on elf for now. Distance, image combo, generate, and there we go. We have all the widgets here. I will just match the X coordinate of the widgets so they line up. So this is on 242, 242, 241, so 242. And this one 242. There we go. Okay, this is done, I guess. So we can proceed and start adding these labels here. So this can be done on the background layer. So image, or rather not an image, artistic text. There we go. And just insert steps. And this needs to be smaller. And we'll try to match more or less the size. And there we go. Now we can simply clone it, change it to kcals, and move it down. Clone it, change to BPM, which stands for beats per minute. And finally clone and change this one, or rather not, because this is the distance units and we'll be using a special widget for that. Okay, so this artistic text will be deleted and we'll work with these. Okay, so this is located on 381, so let's go with 382, 382, and this one 382. Okay, this is done. Now we need to take care of these lines because these are dynamic widgets. This line grows along with the number of steps. So let's do that. First, I can see that we have some sort of a transparent line on the bottom. So let's first create it. Here I had an image, and I can create this in many ways. I will use the vector tool. So click and click, and let's make it 2 pixels wide, just like that, and save. And now I will crop the contents. There we go. And next I will, or rather I was going to duplicate it, but instead I'm going to use another technique, which is the array translation. So we need 1, 2, 3. Let's set it to 3 here. And now we'll increase the Y offset. And there we go. Something like this. Let me just compare it with the reference image. And a little bit more, so let's go with 42. Yes, this should work. Okay, this is done. We can apply and then add an opacity effect. And this will lower the opacity of the widget, and make it look more like the reference. So something like that. And yes, I believe this is perfect. Okay, now we can tackle the lines here for the steps, the calories, and the heart rate. So let's do that. Okay, so here on the steps, I will add a line widget and press generate. And remember, we can generate lines just about any color you want, and with gradients. How cool is that? So here I want to match this line here. So push it to the left, or rather stay on 2 for 1, and then decrease the size. And remember to change the values down here on the generate form, not up here, because here you're scaling the widget, and here you're generating an image that is exactly these dimensions here. Okay, so let's zoom out and try to match the width, and there we go, and make it 3 pixels, I guess. And I see that this one is some sort of blue, so I don't know. Let's try and create a blue color here by picking these colors. And there we go. So let's preview. Oh, I forgot. We have a problem here, which is the last image has a different color, the 9, as you can see here. But we'll fix that easily in just a minute. Okay, so this line is created, and now we need one for the calories. So let's select this one, and here on the calories we'll add a line widget, and we can simply copy the one from the steps. So let's do that. Here on the image preview field, we'll press Ctrl C, and then we'll select the calories line. Over the image preview here, we'll press Ctrl V, and there we go. So, and now we need to change the color, and this one should be sort of a orange, I guess. So we'll change this to hue and change the hue of the image. And there we go. We have our orange colored line, and we can now just place it, and finally add one for the heart rate. So here, line, there we go. And like before, we'll copy this blue image and then paste it here on this one. There we go. And I believe this one is red. So let's change the hue of the line. There we go. And bring it more to the red spectrum of the color. So here, place the line, and everything should be working now. So if I press preview, and there we go. I believe this is working perfectly. And we now need to fix this 9 here, this orange 9. So this is the steps. Let's go into the image combo. Oh, I moved it upwards, sorry. Let's move it here. And there we go. So this is the steps image combo. And I think, yeah, when I moved it, what the hell did I do? Okay, let's generate, doesn't matter, and then crop the content. And here you can see why we had a orange color image. So there we go. So this color is for the selected color or last color. So here I'm going to change it to white. And we have this second color because this is useful for other widgets like the weekday. Some designers like to have a different colored weekday, like Sunday, to have a different color. And this allows you to do it easily, okay? So this is done, all white, and I forgot to reduce. Oh yes, we still have these. So I am going to, I believe, I am going to merge them. Add and add. And by the way, when you merge artistic texts, they become images, okay? Keep that in mind. You can no longer edit the text. So here I will add an opacity effect and lower the opacity and make it more transparent, and there we go. Let's preview it, and believe it or not, we're almost done. We need to address this distance units, remember, that we had here. So if you take a look here, we have the distance units, and we need to make it change to miles if the user has miles selected for the distance units. So let's do that. Here on the distance, we will add a distance units. There we go. Sorry. And then press generate. And here you can see we have miles or kilometers. But this should be lowercase like the others. So let's change it. Kilometers and miles. And there we go. Now I need to match the font size. So let's try and do it. And smaller still, I guess 18. Yes, that should work. Okay, now I will place it, but first align it to the left and try to match the same location as this one. So let me see here, it's on 382. So 382, there we go. And now we have, yes, the distance miles, or rather the distance units. If I change it using the shift mouse wheel, you can see that this will change according to your settings on the watch. So now I will reduce the opacity also. So let's switch to opacity and make it, you know, more transparent. I think it's 46. Let me see here. And yes, 46. So this is the same now and exactly what we needed. So this is done. Now we can finish this watch face by creating the weather. widgets down here. And believe it or not, these are the easiest ones. So let's add environment weather container, and here I will add the weather image set. And then we could import images we designed on GIMP or Photoshop, but Facemaker has an SVG font for the weather icons. And all you have to do is press generate. And there we go. We have the icons, the 54 icons for the Garmin weather. How great is that? And this is white, but of course you could set the color or the gradient, just about any gradient you want it. So right there, okay? So let's make it white and put it in place. And there we go. This is done. We can now add the temperature. So temperature, press generate. And this was, I believe, Arbitron. Yes, this is Arbitron. Okay. Looks like a name of one of those cartoons, the Transformers. Okay, so Arbitron. Okay, this size should work. So this is done, but I will align it to the right and perhaps push it a little bit to the left, because remember, in some countries they have negative temperatures, and if I press preview, notice that this will go to 30 something and then restart the count on minus something. Oh wow, 40, yeah, 42, and there we go. Okay, so keep that in mind. We might have minus 10, and in that case it will go over the weather widget. But yeah, we have to have some compromise. How many people will have a Garmin lower temperatures than -9? I mean, yeah, it's possible, but yeah, okay. This is a choice I made. So we'll keep it as is and lock it and add the temperature type. And here we press generate as usual, and we have Fahrenheit and Celsius. So here I will use the smaller form of the temperature type, and this way we can have just a C or an F, something like that, and we will place it right there. And of course this will change according to the settings on the watch, so Celsius or Fahrenheit. Okay, this is done, and all we need now is the minimum and maximum temperatures, I guess, and indeed it is. So down here, okay, so let's do that. Temperature max, or rather, yeah, let's do the temperature, the maximum temperature, and press generate. And of course this one is smaller right there, and this one will be aligned to the left. And we have to do some compromise. Since we have the temperature units here, I won't use it again down here. Okay, the information is there, and the user knows that the values down here are Celsius or Fahrenheit just by looking at this one. Okay, so I don't think it makes much sense to have it down here too. So this is done, temperature max and temperature min. So generate, there we go. And this one I will align to the right. Okay, so place it, push it to the left, right there. And I was using the arrow keys to move the widget. Okay, you can do that, and it will make your life so much easier. So now let's add to finish this watch face. Let's add an artistic text here, a divider for the minimum and maximum temperatures. There we go. Now we lock it and bring everything back, and now we see what we have here. So yeah, we can tweak this widget here, and also the temperature max, I think, right there. So let's press preview now, and I believe this is way too bright, so I'm going to select a darker color, something like this, and do the same for this one. But these I will add a brightness effect instead. -40, and the same for this one. So there we go. Okay. Yeah, I think we're done. All we need now is to add always on display, and this sucker will be finished. So right now, to add a always on display, you have this icon here. We had it, and then we can simply add a widget, and I will copy the digital dial container. So Control C, and here select the widget main container and press Control V. And there we go. Now we have, oh, I think I copied, oh no, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm going to delete this one, and again add the digital dial here, and then copy all these by shift selecting, Control C, and here Control V. There we go. Now we have the hours and minutes, and this will be the AOD, because we need to be conservative when it comes to the always on display, okay? So here I will add a brightness effect and lower the value. So we'll go with something like this. So -67, okay. Let's apply it to this one here too. And then here. And then here. And there we go. We have our AOD, and this should be enough, you know, for you to check the time when the screen is turned off. So yes, this is the watch face finished. But before we export it, we need to test it. And for that, we have the Garmin simulator, this button here. But before you try the simulator, it is extremely important to merge all these images here. And by the way, let's just delete the reference image. We don't need it anymore. And something we should have done in the beginning, which was to name our watch face, so Garmin GS Pro, and then save the project. Because if something went wrong, you would lose all your work. How great is that? So I'll save it, and it's saved. And now we can merge all these images. So let's do that. Add and add, 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 until the very last one, okay? So all the images are merged, as you can see here, and now just for good measure, I will apply a sphere. There we go. And if you want to take a look at it, we can press Edit File on External Editor, and there we go. This is the image we created on Facemaker, okay? And we can even compare it with the original one right here. There we go. Okay, this looks fine, but now we want to test it on the Garmin simulator. And for that, all we need to do is press this button. So let's do that. We'll allow access to the simulator. And now we wait. Facemaker is creating all the images. And there we go. This is working perfectly, as you can see. So now, simulating the watch face on Facemaker is easier. You just have to press the play button here, like you see here, right? The Garmin simulator is a little bit more complicated to check all the widgets, okay? So for example, you want to see how the steps are working. And for that, you have to come into the simulation and set activity monitor info. So here, you can change the values. So for the step goal, which I think is too low, we'll go with 10,000. This is the goal, okay? And the current steps, we will set it to, I don't know, 5,891. And then apply. Now you see here, everything has changed. So the steps now have 500 or 5,891. The line increased right here, and the calories have increased, and also, oh no, the heart rate did not. And let me show you why. Because the heart rate is changed in here, the activity data. And for that, you have to press play. And boom, right there, okay? So right now, a heart rate is being simulated by the Garmin simulator, okay? So we'll now try and change other things, like for example, the distance units. Right now, you'll see that we have Fahrenheit and miles on the units, but you can change that. Here, if you go to units display, you can change it to metric. And voila, now it's showing kilometers and Celsius here on the temperature. So yes, this is how it works. And this is the simulation. This is an exact representation of how it will work on the watch. For example, you can also check how the AOD will behave by changing the, let me see here, display mode to always on. And there we go. So yes, this is how it works. And you should experiment and see what the other settings do. I have just shown you some of them. And yes. You can't really preview the moon phase because the moon phase is an algorithm of mine. So it will be dependent on the date. Oh wait, I think we can change the time or the date. Let me just check here. No, it seems we can't set the date, but you can set the weather. So for example, settings, set weather, and we can change it to, let's say, so today is the 18th, so let's go with a hurricane and apply. Well, maybe, oh, this is the forecast. Okay, so current weather should be here. Oh yes, it's here. Okay, let's change it to tornado and press apply. And there we go. We have a tornado. So yes, unfortunately, it's not as easy as the preview on Facemaker. Yes, this will be an exact representation of what will show on the Garmin watch itself. And if it works here, it will work on the watch. Okay, so this was it. A watch face for the latest Garmin watch, the Fenix 8 51mm. I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.